Hello guys, I thought that it might be interesting for you how the timing in our bikes is done. So I prepared some pieces which were taken off the engine, and let's start with the part which is replicated in both cylinders. I mean, on the left side from here to the left, there are parts which are generally duplicated for both heads. It's not the perfect replication because there are some small differences, but generally pieces looks pretty the same. On the right side we have here some bits which are common or shared by two cylinders together. Okay, let's start maybe with this part which is replicated. Of course, here we have a part which allows chain to slide. Okay, there is a second one in the engine already, but once you install head, you just put the slider like this. Sorry, like this. Okay, and then we have the two sliders in the engine. Okay, let's go next. Next one is of course the timing chain. I'm not sure if this is the same one for front and rear. It has to be checked in user's manual. I think they are the same actually. There is a difference between 450 and 550. What I know, but generally those for both and front and rear cylinders should be the same length. Generally, when you check the engine, you need to see if this chain is bending without any resistance. If there is no damage or some bigger scratches or dents. This chain looks like new, so it will be reused. Okay, so while we are here, we have a cam. Okay, and this is important that the cams are looking pretty the same. There might be marking here, like rear and front, but it is not always visible. So what is the easiest way to check if this cam is rear or front? You need to take the screw which is securing this nut later here and see if there is a normal thread or a reverse thread. If it's normal, like this, you can see, this means that this is the cam for rear cylinder. Okay, if the thread was reversed, so you need to go this way to screw it, it means that this cam is for front. Okay, while we are here, it is good to inspect cam. What we need to look at, we need to look at, of course, how do you call it, heights, or I'm not sure what is the name for it, but generally those here has to have be like with no damage. Okay, there should be no damage at all. There should be smooth, no edges. The same here and the same here. Okay, as you can see, this cam is like brand new, so it's gonna go to the engine with no problem. Okay, but as you know, our engines are pretty high compression. It is 13 to 1 or 12.5 to 1 for 550, and it will be very hard to start engine if there is no decompressor mechanism. It would be easy and with no problem, but the starter would have to be like twice or 3 times bigger. So to avoid that, to minimize weight, constructors from Aprilia managed to invent a decompressor, maybe not invent, but just to install decompressor system, which is generally made of 4 pieces. First one is the leverage. Okay, when we go here, you can see that there is a hole inside here. Okay, this is for the decompressor system. Let's see right now. And in this position, as you can see, it will force those exhaust rocker levers to be a little bit higher. It's actually higher, but the valves will be pushed, so it will release a little bit of compression. And this position is possible till the around 1300 RPMs, probably around. It depends on the weight of the compressors and engine condition and stuff. But what happens when the engine is already started and goes over 1500 RPMs? This force from rotation, it makes this one to open like this, and you can see right now there is a gap, and this gap allows this rocker just to slide without any movement. Actually, there is no slide, but there is a little gap, like you know, I cannot show you how small this gap is, but generally there is a gap. What this means is that after the engine is running on normal RPMs, it stays like this and it's open with no impact on exhaust valves. So this is the first part of the decompressor. While this is installed, there is of course spring, which is generally there. Okay, there is this the piece which locks it in place like this, and spring and of course screw which is securing this whole mechanism to not fall apart during the normal working procedure. Okay, so this I'm not gonna install it right now because I will have to disassemble it anyway, but this spring has to go in this place. Okay, and the thing is that this is the starting position. While you do like this, okay, it has to go back to this position like this. Even if it's rotated like that, and gravity force would force it to be like that, the spring will manage to put it in this normal position, like a starting position. Okay, so this was the decompression system here, and of course there is a ball bearing here, and the second one is in the head. I always do not take it away unless it has to be replaced. Okay, next one. After we install the valve the cam in the head, we need to use the gear to put it on the side of cam and secure it with this. Actually it's a big nut or screw. Actually, it's screw. Okay, the main important thing which I usually do, I usually very care about this area where the gear has to come, and the gear itself, inside and outside, has to be very good degreased. I mean, there cannot be any oil leftovers or stains or something. I'm just using the clean paper towel, some brake cleaner. This is one I like, Textar brake cleaner. It's very good and very good price. So I just use it, clean with paper, spray with air, and then it is ready to assemble. Why this is so important? Because even if we use a proper force to screw it down, there is some chance that if there is an oil underneath, it will just move a little bit, or even more. And if this gear will move on the cam, it may cause to timing problems and even the collision piston with valves. And I don't have to tell how much the valves are in shop to buy. Okay, and we have 8 of them. This is pretty expensive stuff. Okay, so here we have valves. There are, well, 2 more things actually, or even more. Here we can see that there are some new DLC buckets. Why those DLC buckets are so important? Can anyone know? I will explain you. The old type buckets, maybe I have them somewhere, not right now, okay, never mind, were designed to have very soft top surface, and combined that with the problems in early engines with mixing coolant and oil, it caused that this surface was degrading very fast. While the surface was degraded, it was very sharp, and when cams were going through this sharp area, they were just grinded, and the lobe was not in a good shape. That's why Aprilia made a new DLC buckets, sorry, and those are here. First one, and there is a second one. Okay, you need to know that those have a little bit different there are height difference, so new shims under the buckets has to be measured and installed. Okay, going next. So we have here the buckets which are controlling the intake valves. And what about the exhaust valves? As I told you, there is a rocker, like here. It is put it into area in this heads like that, and it is secured by this bolt and by this small Siger. Okay. There's one more thing. Once this is installed, actually this cam with this bearing, there is a Siger which keeps the valve in the original place in head, so it doesn't move around. Okay. And okay, once it is installed, there is a chain tensioner. As you can see, it is fully automatic. What does it mean? It means that in some older engines or some custom after some custom changes, people are using the manual, which is just a regular bolt with nut, and they are just adjusting the tension on the tensioner, on the chain, by sound, I guess. But yes, actually by sound. So if anyone is experienced, it can hear that this is enough tension to avoid a rattle from the chain from the timing. But here we don't have to worry about that, because there are automatic tensioners. And how does it work? The tensioner has to be screwed into the engine by those 2 small Then once it is installed, we take this spring, put it in here, and while we press it and secure it by this bolt, by this screw with O-ring, which it goes here in this area, like that, okay, to avoid any leaks. It is slowly releasing this bolt, which is tensioning. You see, which is tensioning the timing chain. Why do we have to do it while it is installed on the bike already? Because while you can see right now it is already pressed out, and how it works is that you cannot press it back, okay, while once it is moved a little bit far from the edge, it cannot go back unless you put this button, of course. But this is just a service button. While this is taken out, while I release my finger, it will go to the final position easy. Okay, what is the nice way to check your timing chain life? When you, this is a simple engine. First, take off this screw with the spring, take out the tensioners, and check what was the original position of this tensioner. If it was like, you know, like this, some few teeth from beginning, it is nice. But while you see that it was almost all the way up, or like 2-3 teeth, teeth from the end, like this, I think it is time to replace your chain. Okay, and let's go here to the I told you about the rock area. Yes, I told you. So those two are pushing exhaust valves just directly. Of course, there is a shim between valves and this rocker, but generally there are no buckets. Okay, and now let's go to the shared parts. So this one is a shaft which connects two banks together. So it goes from the other side in here, so we can see through this bearing, we can see this part. Then we install our key like this, okay, and shaft. Sorry, that is hard to push, but anyway, it's like that. And one chain is going through this sprocket or gear, and second one goes through this one. And that's how they are connected together. Of course, there is another bigger sprocket which connects to let's say a crank. So it is somehow connected, but generally this is about heads, so that's what I'm talking about. So that's it. I hope that you find it helpful. Thanks.